It's Thursday, August 17th. This is the CBC Morning Report. I'm Tisha Hines. Good morning. In our top story, the Parliamentary Reform Commission is set to host its very first town hall meeting this evening at 7. Chairman of the Commission, Sir Richard Cheltenham, says Parliament represents a national institution that significantly impacts the lives of all Barbadians. So they are encouraging everyone to come out and have their say and to give their input. In an interview with CBC News, Sir Richard says since the turn of the century, there's been growing global cynicism to parliamentary institutions, and this region has not escaped that cynicism.
It has impacted many institutions, including our Parliament. But our Parliament has done outstanding work for us in the last 50 years. I mean, when you think of legislation like the Tenancy Freehold Purchase Act and the implications of that, which is widely felt in the community, and the work of the Rural Development Commission and the Urban Development Commission, it is a reminder to all Barbadians that our Parliament is important, has done outstanding work, and that they need to pay attention to what goes on there. I was fortunate to have had 25 years in our Parliament, 23 in the House of Assembly and 2 in the Senate as its President. I was fortunate too to have seen Grantley Adams at work, though I was not in Parliament with him, but I was fortunate to be working at the Parcel Post Department, which was just below the Parliament. So I used to run up and get a half an hour from time to time when Grantley Adams was there in Parliament before he went off to the Federal Parliament. But I was in Parliament with Errol Barra and every leader of Barbados since independence, including our present Prime Minister, Mia Amawa Mortley. And I love the institution, work hard in the discharge of my parliamentary responsibilities, and I hope that we can reach out to some of the young people. We'll deal with that especially later.
Okay. And
to cause people to renew their interests.
Sir Richard says there are some other important areas that need to be looked at in the reform process, including the need for a code of ethics.
We are working on a code of ethics, the Parliamentary Reform Commission. And we are hoping that by the time we are ready to submit a report, or as part of our report, would be a code of ethics to govern the behavior of parliamentarians. We cannot behave as we like. We need to appreciate our role and responsibility, and that should determine how we conduct ourselves at all times as parliamentarians.
The Commission Chairman says as part of the public engagement process, they will also be accepting submissions from Barbadians living overseas. He says the island's young people must play an important part as well.
The 18-year-olds today are in another 10 years candidates. I was at age 28 before I was 29, a candidate for the Barbados Labour Party in 1971 election. That's the same year in which Sir Grantley died. He died about a month after the election, general election of 1971. And from time to time, people as early as that will be candidates. We cannot leave them out. In any event, they are tomorrow's leaders. And already we have sent out invitation to the young people at the Samuel Jackman Prescott Polytechnic, at the community college. We are reaching out to the students at the University of the West Indies. So we know that they have a viewpoint. and it must not be ignored and will not be ignored. So we are making sure that they are participating. I think we need to go a little further, and the 16 to 18-year-olds at the secondary schools, we ought perhaps also to reach out to them and receive a small delegation from them and listen keenly to what they have to say.
The first town hall meeting takes place at the Barbados Workers Union Solidarity House headquarters from 7 o'clock this evening. Coming up on the CBC Morning Report, Ukraine finds a way to transport grain amidst wartime restrictions.
For the past 19 years, QFM has been sharing with you, learning from you, and together building a community for all mature audiences. That's why we say Q is good for you. To our Q family, we say thank you for staying connected to Q 100.7 FM. QFM is a station of the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. CBC, celebrating 60, connecting Barbadian communities.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a...
A ship stuck in Odessa for more than 17 months has set sail along a new temporary maritime corridor established by Ukraine for merchant shipping despite Russian threats of attack. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has hailed the departure of that first cargo ship to use a new Black Sea lane after Moscow exited a deal protecting Ukrainian grain exports from its southern ports.
The Hong Kong-flagged vessel had been trapped in the port since Russia launched its invasion last year. It was the first commercial ship to leave the port since a deal with Russia collapsed last month. And this comes just hours after Russian drones targeted grain silos and warehouses in one of its ports on the Danube River. The governor of the Odessa region says the area was hit twice in overnight attacks. The river ports are the main export route for Ukrainian grain now. Kiev announced a humanitarian corridor after Russia quit the grain deal that had allowed ships carrying Ukrainian grain safe passage through the Black Sea. Grain can also be transported overland by truck or train, but the rail option through Poland and other EU members is hampered by various countries using a different track size from Ukraine. Another route is through the congested Black Sea port of Constanta in Romania. But that's time-consuming and costly. So is shipping on the Danube River and its network of canals. The new plan would apply to container ships for now. Moscow has not said whether it will respect Kiev's decision. Steph Vasson has more from Odessa.
This first container ship sailing from the Odessa port through the Black Sea is very much a test of what Ukraine calls a humanitarian corridor. It's a Chinese ship that's on its way to Turkey, and it's the first ship, civilian ship, since the start of the full-scale invasion 1.5 years ago. And together with dozens of other ships, they've been stuck here at the port. And if it's successful, of course, other ships can follow. There are a lot of Turkish-flagged ships here as well waiting in Odessa, and it's significant because of the war, cargo coming from Ukraine has dropped significantly, up to 50% according to the government. And this all comes amid a crisis, another crisis that is hitting the country since the destruction of the Kakhovka Dam. A lot of people in the area are without safe drinking water. Irrigation water for farmers is lacking. Aid organizations say up to 700,000 people are actually depending on safe drinking water at the moment. So it is hard to get that water to the areas because there are many villages right at the front line.
At least 17 Niger soldiers have been killed in an attack by armed groups near the border with Mali as the fallout from the coup continues. According to a statement, a detachment of the Nigerian armed forces moving between Bonai and Torodi were victim of a terrorist ambush. It added that another 20 soldiers had been injured, with all of them evacuated to the capital. More than 100 assailants were neutralized during the threat.
Niger's coup leaders are on a charm offensive. The military-appointed prime minister visited Chad in an effort to push back against mounting international pressure.
We are undergoing a transition. We have explained our reasons for this, and we have reiterated that we will remain open to any exchanges with all involved parties, but at the same time insisting on the necessary independence of our country.
His visit comes as the country's soldiers suffer heavy losses in attacks by armed groups operating in the Sahel region. On Tuesday, 17 soldiers were killed near the border with Mali.
This is the fifth attack since the coup in Niamey 3 weeks ago. It appears armed groups in the region are looking to exploit the political uncertainty in Niger. And it doesn't help with international partners suspending military and security cooperation in response to the coup. Analysts say the threat of more attacks like this is increasing by the day.
Although the regional bloc ECOWAS shows signs of continuing with diplomatic efforts to resolve the political crisis in Niger, it maintains that military action is still possible.
The coup and the political upheaval that we see in Niamey is a good news for jihadist insurgents for several reasons. The first one is that military leadership are busy trying to consolidate power in Niamey and perhaps to plan a riposte in case of an eventual attack by ECOWAS forces.
Just like in Mali and Burkina Faso, Niger's coup leaders cite the deteriorating security as reason for overthrowing President Mohamed Bazoum. But the spate of attacks and their failure to contain them are also raising questions about their ability to do something different and sustain public support for their coup.
It's time now for us to preview what's coming up on Morning Barbados at 6:30. We'll be telling you all about what the Community Independence Celebrations Secretariats are up to, but more specifically St. Michael, as we get ready for more parish talent to come to the fore. Plus, we're speaking to Onika Small, curator with the National Cultural Foundation, about how we'll be celebrating Marcus Garvey Day. And we continue our discussion with Margaret Grant, who's an author and camp director of Transition, the camp that, of course, helps students move from the primary to secondary level. That and much more coming up on Morning Barbados. But next, we have more news, sports, and weather. So stay with us.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Because you love...
Booking demands are high for the 5-star Wyndham Grand Resort, Sam Lord's Castle. Prime Minister Mia Motley made the disclosure as she and some other cabinet members toured the sprawling complex yesterday. CBC's Trevor Thorpe was there.
The Prime Minister said she is hoping that the opening of Sam Lawrence Castle, a Wyndham Grand Resort, would ignite the tourism spirit in St. Philip. She said Barbados' credit rating has improved and there is renewed investor interest.
We're not yet finished, and this visit therefore is to be able to take stock with where we are and to see the things that need snagging. But as you can see, it is unfolding quite nicely. This hotel will have 422 rooms. Regrettably, COVID was an interrupter, and in fact the contractors would have made a force majeure claim under the contract in excess, I believe, of over $40 million. Yeah. And we managed to get them down. How much was it?
40 million US.
Right, $40 million US was the claim under the force majeure. After extensive negotiations, we got them down to 22.5. And of course, that would have been, we lost 2.5 years with COVID.
The Prime Minister told the gathering, which included Ministry of Tourism officials and board members of the Barbados Tourism Investment Incorporated, the BTMI, bookings are high for the opening, but much more is planned for the area.
The government has plans for the castle, restoration and the grounds. That's not part of this hotel because we felt strongly. We took two decisions that changed from what we inherited. One, we didn't believe that we should leave all 55 acres for one hotel, and we have another 17 acres, therefore we split it in such a way that there's 17 acres to the southeast of the castle that is now available for development separate from the 422 rooms here. And we also felt that ultimately, once we are in a position to catch our hand, right now the castle will be landscaped and lit, but ultimately we would like to work towards the restoration of the castle.
Head of the BTMI, Stuart Lane, reminded those present it was work in progress as crews aim to deliver for the soft opening.
What you saw today is not a hotel that has been opened, but what you saw is a hotel that will be open, and what we are doing now is final snagging, dealing with any issues that would perhaps stop the guests from having the best experience. This property was designed to be a 5-star property. Basically, to get 5-star though, you have to operate it as such. But there is a checklist for 5-star properties, and we have checked that list, including having the opportunity to move around underground and elsewhere.
240 rooms and 3 restaurants will feature in the soft opening on September 30th. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
Thanks, Trevor. Changes are coming to the National HIV/AIDS Commission. Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs, Kirk Humphrey, says there are plans to expand the scope of the department to also include chronic non-communicable diseases.
We are now in the process of transitioning the HIV Commission to an NCD Commission, so that not only will they be addressing issues pertaining to HIV, which is now for the most part a chronic ailment. It's not a life-depriving illness, or it should not be, not in a modern society. And to address other NCDs, so that instead of only focusing on HIV, now you're focusing on issues pertaining to health, diabetes, so on, are you eating well, and so on, hypertension. But a lot of these persons migrate to the family, the Ministry of People Empowerment, because a number of the persons that we see are dealing with these other issues.
Minister Humphrey was speaking during the launch of the Healthy Living Expo, dubbed the premier health and wellness event in Barbados. It is scheduled for September 2nd and 3rd at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Centre. Creator Sharon Skeet says the goal is to bring greater awareness of health in holistic sense.
An event for the entire family and promises to be an extravaganza on health and wellness, focusing on home and lifestyle. In this category, we'll be paying attention to things like air filtration, water filtration, renewable energy, environmentally friendly household products. Obviously, we will have the medical professionals on board. Some I'm seeing here with us today as well. We have the fitness aspect, we have nutrition, and we're taking it all the way down to organic farming.
A surge in violence in part of Haiti's capital over the past week has pushed more than 3,000 people to flee their homes, including many who have been forced to seek shelter in improvised sites. That leaves them vulnerable to attacks.
Families carry the few possessions they have while they can. Caught in the battles for territorial control, they are fleeing violent gangs that have taken over their neighborhoods. This is the latest wave of displacement in Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince, where gang crime is rife and shortages of food and other essentials are widespread. Some seek shelter at this high school. They feel let down by their government.
It wasn't gangs that chased me out of my home. It was the Haitian state that made me abandon my home. It's the Haitian state that killed all the people because it's the state that has the so-called legitimacy of violence.
Lawlessness has plagued Haiti, especially since the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse nearly 2 years ago. The UN estimates more than 2,000 Haitians have been killed in the first half of this year as gang crime escalates.
We lost our policemen who were helping us fight the gangs. They bled all night and now the gangs are bathing in their blood.
Nearly 200 criminal gangs operate in Haiti, more than half of them in the capital alone. They're armed and dangerous. The United Nations has again appealed for urgent international help, saying peacekeeping is no longer an option.
We hope those efforts move as quickly as possible. In the meantime, we know very well what the horrendous security situation is on the ground in Haiti, and the horrendous humanitarian situation as well, as a result that keeps getting worse as a result of the deteriorating security situation.
Kenya has offered to lead a support force to intervene in Haiti, but the UN Security Council has not discussed deployment so far.
Let's take a closer look at Haiti's security situation. 2,000 Haitians have been killed in gang violence so far this year. There are around 200 gangs in Haiti, with at least half based in the capital, Port-au-Prince. An estimated 60% of Port-au-Prince is controlled by two armed groups known as G9 and GPEP. Residents who live in their strongholds report being under constant threat of murder, abduction, extortion and sexual violence.
Member of Parliament for Grand Bahama, Ginger Moxey, has been providing an update on several projects underway on the island. They include the long-anticipated redevelopment of the air and cruise ports.
Minister for Grand Bahama, Ginger Moxey, telling reporters that investigations into a recent oil spill are ongoing. She notes that a task force made up of public and private sector partners has been established to continue the cleanup efforts.
I know that they are monitoring extensively the shoreline, the eastern shoreline of the island, because there had been some tar balls that were detected along the beaches, and that's being investigated to determine exactly where they came from.
As it relates to the development of the Carnival cruise port in East Grand Bahama, the minister says it's progressing well, adding executives recently held a community engagement exercise.
They really wanted to show them the retail opportunities. After that, they had a one-on-one meeting session at the Ministry for Grand Bahama in the CoLab unit. The cruise port is on track to open in 2025, the summer of 2025. And so we're really excited about what's happening with that.
Royal Caribbean International also on tap to make major investments into a port as well. The minister had this update.
That's something that Royal Caribbean is dealing directly with the Freeport Harbor Company on. I know that they are still in discussions on that. We're really mostly focused on the Carnival Cruise Port development at this time, and I'm sure that Royal Caribbean will update as soon as they have additional information on that.
Chief Development Officer of the Manchester Airport Group, Paul Willis, telling Our News back in May that a team was expected on the island throughout the summer months to assess the international airport. While the minister could not provide concrete details, she says she is excited for work to begin.
And Jamaica government officials seem pleased after visiting a St. Mary facility where dozens of Haitians are awaiting the completion of requests for asylum. The Haitians arrived by boat a month ago after fleeing their country.
The 37 Haitians who landed on the shore of Boston Beach in Portland last month were visited by National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang and Foreign Affairs Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith at a facility in Robbins Bay, St. Mary. The migrants have been at the facility since they were apprehended by the police. Dr. Chang says as the legal process continues, the government of Jamaica is committed to ensuring that the dignity, health, welfare needs and safety of these individuals are maintained.
The Passport and Immigration Department have identified all of them, and I have no reason to believe that any of them are criminals. As part of the early process, as immigrants coming in, they are checked, monitored for health as well as their identification. This is a very secure facility. It's not a prison or lockup, but it's secure, and the police is here to protect them as well as to prevent them getting off into other activities. And the Red Cross and the other supporting teams are all here to ensure that they are safe and that they are well looked after.
Minister Chang.
Time now for sports. Defending champions, the Jamaica Talawas have won the opening fixture of the 2023 Republic Bank CPL. Last night at the Darren Sammy National Cricket Stadium, they defeated hosts St. Lucia Kings by 11 runs. Being sent in to bat, the Talawas were bowled out for 187 off their 20 overs. Player of the match and captain Brandon King top scored with 81. That included 9 fours and 3 sixes. Roston Chase took 3 for 39, while Alzari Joseph had 2 for 21. In their reply, the Kings only reached 176 for 8. Chase also had a good game with the bat, top scoring with 53. That included 4 fours and 3 sixes, while Rashawn Primus added 37. Imad Wasim took 3 for 27. Game number 2 is this evening, again in St. Lucia, with the Kings taking on Barbados Royals at 7 p.m. CBC TV 8 will show the match tape delayed from 8:03. Let's take a look now at the weather. The barometric pressure stands at 1011.3 millibars. It's 27.9 degrees Celsius outside. The relative humidity stands at 83%, and the winds are blowing out of the east at 22 kilometers per hour. Present temperature fair and hazy. Sea conditions for Barbados for today: smooth to moderate in open water, with swells ranging from 1 to 2 meters and increasing. Here's a look at how the tides roll in. And the general forecast for Barbados: a mix of sunshine and clouds with a few brief scattered light showers. So plan accordingly, because into the evening it will be clear with cloudy periods with the occasional brief scattered light to moderate showers. That's today's morning report. Our next newscast is Newsday at 12 noon on TV8, followed by The World at 1 on our radio network of stations on 100.7 FM, 98.1 The One, and 94.7 FM. Thanks for joining us. Morning Barbados is next.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
98.1 to 1 is more than a station.
We don't just play music, we keep you company, cheer you up, keep you informed and entertained. We are a vibe. What do you mean?
Every day we bring the party to you.
We are your #1 party station.
We love playing music for our listeners.
Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning.
Thursday, August 17th. Welcome to another presentation of Morning Barbados. You know that's morning without the GS, because that's what we say in Barbados. Of course, it's good to have you with us today, whether you're tuned in from right here in Barbados or you're logged on online via our stream on Facebook or on YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in. And do remember to tell your friends and relatives to follow us online on every major platform if they don't already do. I'm Tisha Hines, and I'll be here with you until 8 o'clock this morning. And we're going to share a lot about what's happening all across the island. First of all, we're going to be talking about Marcus Garvey Day and how it will be celebrated. Onika Small, who is a curator with the National Cultural Foundation, she's going to be in. It's a very familiar face, hers, so you don't have to worry about that. I'm sure you know Onika very well. She usually is a part of many of the major displays that we find all across Barbados, but we're going to be telling you about something that will be at Queen's Park House. That is coming up pretty soon. Plus, we're talking to the Public Relations Officer of the St. Michael Parish Independence Committee, Alicia Ford, and she's in to talk about the parish talent competitions that will be coming up, that we want you to be a part of to ensure that we have the best community independence celebrations come November, once we have the big show. Of course, all through the year, the various parish independence committees do lots and lots of work. We heard St. Andrew just a while ago talking about their crabbing night and all of that good fundraising stuff. We'll tell you more about what's happening in that area. And the museum, their tour is coming up. Kendia Brathwaite, Program Officer with the National Olympic Academy of the Barbados Olympic Association, will be sharing about tours that are happening in the evening. They're absolutely back, and she's going to update us on how we can get in on those tours and enjoy all the museum has to offer. Plus, the St. James South Neighborhood Watch Network group, they're going to tell us about how things are going. It's been some time since they've been on to update us on how their very strong, very active neighborhood watch is shaping up and what they're doing in that area. They're going to be having a flea market coming up and a pop-up. And it really is an initiative to kind of bring the community together and continue to fight crime. So, you know, a great best practice perhaps for us to look at, to adapt at neighborhoods across the island as well. So we're going to have Mr. Christopher Lee and Crystal Hippolyte, who will be on to talk to us about how they are fighting crime in their own unique way in that particular district. So something that you won't want to miss. Also on today, we have a few feel-good stories that we're going to be sharing with you a little bit later on in the show. Of course, we love to share positive things that are happening, not only here in Barbados, but across the world, so that we feel good going into the day. After all, I love you to wear your smile, so there has to be something to smile about. But we're going to start first on a series that we commenced a few weeks ago in talking to Margaret Grant, who is an author and director of Camp Transition. She's also written a book for children in transition from primary to secondary school. And she's back again today to share with us. Good morning, Ms. Grant.
Good morning, good morning.
It's always good to have you with us. Now, I know last time you were here, you brought a young man with you to share about how he felt about the transition and stuff like that. And it was really refreshing to hear directly from him how he felt about the transition and what was going on. Today, we want to look at organizational skills for children. I know this is something that you deal with at the camp, and that's very important for children who are moving from primary school into secondary school, where they're expected to, you know, do a lot. So tell you what, let's take a break here on Morning Barbados, and when we come back, we're going to jump into this discussion with Ms. Grant as we look at organizational skills. I want to remind you that if you have any questions, share them online and or on the Facebook page, or you can send them to morningbarbados@cbc.bb, and we will help to pose those questions during the discussion with Ms. Grant. That's all coming up after this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
98.1 The One is more than a station.
We don't just play music, we keep your company, cheer you up, keep you informed and entertained. We are a vibe. What do you mean?
Every day we bring the party to you.
We are your #1 party station.
We love playing music for our listeners. And we're committed to working with our clients and advertisers to make sure that you get the attention that you deserve.
98.1 The One.
Celebrating 18 and still your #1 party station.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's another 2 weeks to go in August, which means we are already into September. Don't even try to count what is left of August. I hope that you've been, as my mother would say, buying along the books for the little ones at primary school and getting the uniforms ready and all that wonderful stuff. So let's delve into our discussion about organizational skills for students. They're moving from maybe in the last year a heavy concentration on, as we call, comprehension or composition, math and English, and now they're going into, in some instances, doing way more than 10 subjects. How can we help the children with their organizational skills in getting ready for school, moving around to different classes, doing all of this homework, and adapting to new spaces as well?
Right. I like how you really put it, because it is really like a maze that they have to maneuver. And if they don't know how to, it can be traumatizing. So when we really think about these little ones now, they're moving from primary to secondary school. And one of the first things they're going to be faced with will be the textbooks. When they get these textbooks, sometimes they're like 2 or 3 textbooks for every subject. And this is something that they have to get accustomed to, that with every subject, there's at least 1 textbook. And they have to be able now, when they go to receive these textbooks from the schools, because they will collect them during the holiday, when they collect these textbooks, they're supposed to cover them. I would suggest that they cover them and they stack them. First of all, have some place where you're going to store these textbooks, because it all has to do with being able to access them easily and put them away as well. If children have been trained to play with their toys and put them away, when they take off clothes, they put them in the laundry basket instead of just dropping them through the house. If they've been trained to store those things properly, that's where the organizational skills would have started. And now they're into developing them and extending them into the classroom. So our organizational skill is really a life skill. And as they get the textbooks, I would suggest that they have covers to cover them. They put their name in them because it is on loan. And if they do not have those books to return in the condition they receive them, they're going to have to either pay for the damages or pay to replace them. So one, have the covers, have the names written in them, and then have some place to store them properly. Now once that is done, you want to organize a dedicated study area for these children. Everybody may not have a study room, but they must have a study area. And this study area should be conducive to study, where there's ample space for them to store their books. And they can store the books according to how they can do it alphabetically, or they can create some kind of home filing system so that the books are stored properly on a shelf. I prefer them to be on a shelf. Everybody may not have a shelf, but you know what? You can make like magazine racks out of those big cornflake boxes, cut them down in half, and you can put your books there so the backs of the books can be seen, and it helps to be organized. When it comes to organization, it helps with time management, because the more you're organized, the less time you have to look around, fumbling, looking for things. They're there in the darkest night, as my mother would say, you can go and pull it out. So so you have the books, you have the stationery. I would also suggest that children have a set of stationery to be used at home. They will get homework every night. And some children, because they only have 1 set of stationery, when they take out their pencil case, they might forget it at home. And then when they get to school, that is a big issue. They might not have anybody to lend them one, or they might be so shy that they do not even say that they need one. Some schools have little shops that they can actually go and buy those things, but not everybody has that access. So I would suggest that they have an extra set of stationery at home, and they can create a little stationery container, whether it be an old teacup, or it could be one that they make even out of toilet roll tissues. Make it, and have it there so that they have their pencils, their pens. They do not have to take their pencil case out of their bags. That helps with organization as well. Okay? When it comes to the homework now, you might find that homework is going to come piling in, and that can confuse children as well. And I would suggest that they have a homework book. Sometimes children write the homework in the particular subject area, but that is not always easy because they may not remember to go back to that book until the day when they have that work. So then they might find themselves not remembering to do the homework, and then they can get into trouble. So I would suggest that they have a specific homework book where they can actually write down all the homework every day, have it dated, and every day as they look at that homework book, they can see. And they can also have the deadlines, and also have like a deadline, their own stipulated deadline date, so that it comes even ahead of the one that the teacher has stipulated. Okay?
All right, very, very interesting stuff and a lot to take in. Those the organizational skills are built out or bolstered by parents supporting them as well.
Correct.
Because for me, I had to beef up my organizational skills too as my daughter moved from primary to secondary school. Because at primary school, we were accustomed to either taking a packed lunch or ordering lunch at school. Right. And that's something that they reminded us to do. Right. So a few times, once she went into secondary school, we forgot about money because I never gave her money to take to school. There was never anything to buy at her school. So we had that challenge. But one thing that works for us is we always pack the school bag at night. Right. So you never wait till the morning to try to pack the school bag. So you make sure that you have everything there and you do your checklist. And I also bought her a whiteboard so that she can, make lists of what she needs for the day, for the week, and kind of check it off. And that helped her too with her organizational skills.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, having that whiteboard, which is erasable, and daily or even weekly, they can make different changes. Even the lunch is also another factor, because for some people who have to prepare it, that is preparation. It has to be prepped like maybe the night before, or even if they have an idea of a menu, so to speak, for the week, so they know ahead of time what they're going to be using. So it calls for a lot of planning, and I think that it also helps our children, where the parents are not doing everything for them, but helping them to develop those skills which they would need for life. The other thing also would be if they can have like a study planner, where they can have a study plan, the area where they're studying, if they can have like a bulletin board, and on that bulletin board they will have their class timetable, the form timetable. They also have a work, like the study monitor, they have a test monitor, a project monitor. They will get a lot of tests. And this is where they can put the test dates, the test items up on that monitor so that they can see it ahead of them all the time. Parents also will be able to see it and keep each person involved. The project monitor, you can have like self-imposed deadlines so that in the event that you always plan ahead, so that the printer on the night before the deadline date, printer decides I'm not working tonight, I'm out of ink, that would not happen to you if you have that self-imposed deadline, which is like 3 days before or even a week before. Okay, so all of that will really help them to be organized. And the study plan helps them to organize the homework along with the chores that they might have to do, as well as the extracurricular activities that they might be involved in. Because what we want is for them to still live a balanced life, and we want them to be able to have everything so structured that it builds discipline. So organizational skills help with the time management. it helps to boost, helps to actually push procrastination out the door, because if you have a study plan, every night you have homework set up for you. You have review, you have revision. And therefore, if you fail to do it tonight, well then tomorrow you have to do tonight's work and tomorrow's work. So it really helps our children to keep on top of the game, helping them to realize that every work, every subject needs to be attended to. Because sometimes some children tend to only focus on the subjects that they like or that they find easy, and then the difficult ones or the challenging ones they put aside. But with the study plan, they put the most challenging subjects first, and then they do the easier ones. You know, last year I did a small research among parents to indicate the top 3 challenges that they found among children when they were transitioning in the September term 2022. And the top 3 were 1, ignoring distractions and being organized. Those were the first 2. 55% of the people said being organized and ignoring distractions were the top 2. The other one was getting the child to get up on mornings. Again, when you look at getting to bed, that was no issue. Getting to bed and getting to sleep are 2 completely different things. And what parents have to realize is that they have to step up and help these children to manage their time, because managing the time helps with the organization, and it reduces the stress and the frustration on the parent too. Because when you have to be asking your child in the morning, you pack your bag, you shouldn't have to, or the child get in the car and have to come back, or call the parent and say, oh, I forgot my geography book at home, and then, or the lunch at home, and the parent leaving work to come. Again, you're just enabling a system that will not be good for the child, which is disorganization.
Where are the socks? Can't find the belt, can't find the tie, all of that stuff.
Exactly.
So definitely some good food for thought. And I made some notes as well. Make sure that you have a study planner. I like the idea of having a homework book, because we had that at primary school, but you don't necessarily think about it for secondary school. I'm not sure if the schools issue a homework book, but I'm going to make sure I do that homework book thing. I have a designated study area. It might not be a space that you can completely designate to, but even if it is a spot in your living room or something, you know, a project monitor, an exam monitor, so they can see what's coming up and make plans accordingly and work toward helping the children get ready in the evening for the next day and kind of getting into that mode. I want to thank you so much, Ms. Margaret Grant. How is camp going? Camp transition?
It's going quite well. It's going quite well. Winter Circle is coming in today, so they'll be seeing, getting into some different topics. But we were able to look at the learning styles, study strategies, growth mindset, and it has been really great. All right, that's excellent. A new crop of children are getting ready to do the 11+ exam. And did you hear Ms. Grant say that you shouldn't pull them out of the extra activities necessarily? That will help them to organize their time as well, and to help them with time management and planning and set organizational skills. So consider that as you go into the new school term. We're going to take a break and come back and speak with Onika Small about Marcus Garvey Day celebrations after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
98.1 to 1 is more than a station.
We don't just play music, we keep you company, cheer you up, keep you informed and entertained. We are a vibe. What do you mean?
Every day we bring the party to you.
We are your #1 party station. We love playing music for our listeners.
And we're committed to working with our clients and advertisers to make sure that you get the attention that you deserve.
98.1 The One. Celebrating 18 and still your #1 party station.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's 8 minutes to go before 7 o'clock. Good morning and welcome to today's presentation of Morning Barbados. If you're just waking up and joining us, it's time now for us to reach out and say a special good morning to Onika Small, who's curator with the National Cultural Foundation. She's going to tell us all about Marcus Garvey Day at Queen's Park House. Good morning, Onika.
Good morning, Barbados, and good morning, Tisha.
Always wonderful to see you.
It's always wonderful to be here once the technology gets working.
For sure. Okay, tell us a little bit about the celebrations that are planned.
Okay, so today we know is August 17th, and it's the birthday of Marcus Garvey. He was born in 1887 in St. Anne's in Jamaica. He would have spoken in Queen's Park, I think it was in 1921. And we are going to be doing an event in the gallery, on the terrace, and in the theater, which really embodies his life and his spirit. So outside, we're going to be having his speeches being streamed. So we're actually going to feel as though you're hearing Marcus Garvey in Queen's Park again in 2023. In the gallery, we have up a show called We Came on Merchant Ships, which is sponsored by the Central Bank of Barbados for the season of emancipation and, of course, the crop over. And in there, this exhibition is rites, rituals, and religion. So one of the things that Garvey advocated was having a Black sense of self within everything, but also within our religious practices. So where we are Black people, our gods should be Black, and we should be looking at ourselves through, or our religion through, Black spectacles. And a lot of the work within this show actually deals with the rites and the religions and the new, I guess, advancements on those in terms of people using their traditional African practices. We have images that depict spiritual Baptists, that depict different rituals and rites. So we're really excited about taking people on tours within the gallery. I feel like as though I'm talking a lot, but there's a lot happening. We're taking people on tours in the gallery, showing them those pieces that highlight that. And then we have Right Side of Red. They're going to be playing on the terrace, and they're going to have guest appearances by Peach Bless, Albert Olton, and Superstar. And their sets, they have 2 sets, and they're focusing on the works and the times and the liberty and the philosophies of Marcus Garvey. And then we have spoken word pop-ups of Stoned with Cupid. We have Cindy Celeste, we have Adrian Green, and we have Winston Farrell. And Farrell has actually been quite inspired by one of the pieces in the gallery, and he is going to do a special interpretation of a piece by Tracy Greenwich called Oshun. So that's our basic day. We start at 5 and we end at 8. And it's basically an evening where you could come and meet, listen to the music. One of the things that Marcus Garvey put out there was our economic empowerment. And I believe that networking events of this kind really assist people in terms of promoting and pushing their businesses. So we're telling people, come out, bring out your business cards, talk to people, get a little forward, know what's happening.
All right, that's excellent. Definitely a lot of things will be happening tomorrow. Do we need any types of tickets or passes? Is there a charge to come in, or can we just show up?
Okay, so just for clarity, the event is happening today. I don't know if
yes.
Today, problems. I don't want people, they could come tomorrow. Our show is up. We're up 10 to 6, Monday to Saturday. They could come tomorrow, but they're not going to have all the good things that we have today, the extra stuff. There is no charge. It is absolutely free. The Division of Culture has really been working very hard in terms of the season of emancipation celebrations, and we want every Barbadian to come out and to feel empowered to be able to be part of the celebrations today.
What are your hopes in terms of sharing the information about Marcus Garvey? What are your hopes for people who come out as a part of the celebration?
For me, when I was given the opportunity to work on this event, I started digging back into my Marcus Garvey history. I started looking again at the quote, reviewing the speeches. I think I've listened to one over the last 3 days about 20 times. It's absolutely inspiring to hear his work, to hear his voice, and to hear his energy. And it gave me a renewed sense of self, of what it is that we are about as a people, about our struggle, about the fact that we rest on numerous ancestors that went through quite a lot of warrior spirits that brought us to this point. And I hope that that's what other people come into this event. And even if they don't come to this event, throughout the day, just do your YouTube, Google Marcus Garvey, listen to him for a 5-minute or 3-minute, feel inspired about how far we've come, but also about a lot of the things that he's been saying, they're still relevant today. We still have people that are bleaching their skin. He advocated that we must love ourselves, we must love our Blackness, we must love who we are. You know, we still have people who are not at a position of economic enfranchisement. So we still have a lot of work to do as a people. So I think this helps, culture helps to push us forward and to give us that energy to continue when sometimes we could feel a little daunted in what we're doing.
Yeah, and for younger people who might not know, a lot of Marcus Garvey's words are contained within a lot of the reggae songs that we like from a lot of the artists. They've used a lot of his words through the years as well. So it truly is a really wonderful idea to at least listen in to some of what he said. Truly inspirational. For me, one of the most memorable things he said was along the lines of, you know, a people without the knowledge of the past, history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. So that's why it's so important to be able to go to exhibitions like this one and celebrate people like Marcus Mosiah Garvey, who really embody what we're trying to accomplish as a people, not only here in the region, but definitely across the world. So thank you, and do continue your wonderful work. I certainly hope that you have a bumper crowd coming out today from 5 at the Queen's Park area, because you're using the gallery and you're using all the areas, pretty much, quite a few areas at the Queen's Park House to be able to celebrate Marcus Garvey Day.
Thank you, Tisha. We look forward to seeing the Barbadian public in their thousands, like Marcus Garvey would have saw when he was here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Onika Small is curator with the National Cultural Foundation, and encouraging you to come out later today to be a part of it. It gets started from 5 in the evening. We're going to take in an update of the news next here on Morning Barbados. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
You know why?
Cometh the hour, cometh the Ugandan. Holloway defends his title. Glorious goal to Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price. With the heart of an American lion, Lyles has roared back to the top. 2 world records in one night. We're watching a once-in-a-generation athlete. The practice, is it on? Oh, that's ridiculous. You could not script that any better.
Let's take you to Budapest, Hungary for the World Athletics Championships.
Coming to MCTV in August.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The time has moved on to 7:02. It's time for an update of the news. Booking demands are high for the 5-star Wyndham Grand Resort, Sam Lord's Castle. Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley made the disclosure as she and some other cabinet members toured the sprawling complex yesterday. CBC's Trevor Thorpe reports.
The Prime Minister said she is hoping that the opening of Sam Lord's Castle A Wyndham Grand Resort would ignite the tourism spirit in St. Philip. He said Barbados' credit rating has improved and there's renewed investor interest.
We're not yet finished, and this visit therefore is to be able to take stock with where we are and to see the things that need snagging. But as you can see, it is unfolding quite nicely. This hotel will have 422 rooms. Regrettably, COVID was an interrupter, and in fact, the contractors would have made a force majeure claim under the contract in excess, I believe, of over $40 million. Yeah. And we managed to get them down. How much was it?
40 million.
Right, $40 million was the claim under the force majeure. After extensive negotiations, we got them down to 22.5. And of course, that would have been, we lost 2.5 years with COVID.
The Prime Minister told a gathering, which included Ministry of Tourism officials and board members of the Barbados Tourism Investment Incorporated, the BTMI, bookings are high for the opening, but much more is planned for the area.
The government has plans for the castle, restoration, and the grounds. That's not part of this hotel because we felt strongly. We took two decisions that changed from what we inherited. One, we didn't believe that we should leave all 55 acres for one hotel, and we have another 17 acres, therefore we split it in such a way that there's 17 acres to the southeast of the castle that is now available for development separate from the 422 rooms here. And we also felt that ultimately, once we are in a position to catch our hand, right now the castle will be landscaped and lit, but ultimately we would like to work towards the restoration of the castle.
Head of the BTMI, Stuart Lane, reminded those present it was work in progress as crews aim to deliver for the soft opening.
What you saw today is not a hotel that has been opened, but what you saw is a hotel that will be open, and what we are doing now is final snagging, dealing with any issues that would perhaps stop the guests from having the best experience. This property was designed to be a 5-star property. Basically, to get 5-star though, you have to operate it as such. But there is a checklist for 5-star properties, and we have checked that list, including having the opportunity to move around underground and elsewhere.
240 rooms and 3 restaurants will feature in the soft opening on September 30th. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
Changes are coming to the National HIV/AIDS Commission. Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs Kirk Humphrey says there are plans to expand the scope of the department to also include chronic non-communicable diseases.
We are now in the process of transitioning the HIV Commission to an NCD Commission, so that not only will they be addressing issues pertaining to HIV, which is now for the most part a chronic ailment. It's not a life-depriving illness, or it should not be, not in a modern society. And to address other NCDs, so that instead of only focusing on HIV, now you're focusing on issues pertaining to health, diabetes, so on, are you eating well, and so on, hypertension. But a lot of these persons migrate to the family, the Ministry of People Empowerment, because a number of the persons that we see are dealing with these other issues.
Minister Humphrey was speaking during the launch of the Healthy Living Expo, dubbed the premier health and wellness event in Barbados. It is scheduled for September 2nd and 3rd at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Centre. Creator Sharon Skeet says the goal is to bring awareness of health in a holistic sense.
It's an event for the entire family and promises to be an extravaganza on health and wellness, focusing on home and lifestyle. In this category, we'll be paying attention to things like air filtration, water filtration, renewable energy, environmentally friendly household products. Obviously, we will have the medical professionals on board. Some I'm seeing here with us today as well. We have fitness aspect, we have nutrition, and we're taking it all the way down to organic farming.
Our next newscast is Newsday at 12 noon on TV8, followed by The World at 1 on our radio network of stations. Morning Barbados continues after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
CBC is celebrating 60 years of broadcasting in Barbados. A friend and a helping hand in the community. CBC, connecting Barbadian communities. It's Match Day Live from the 246 with host Damian Best. Your all-access pass to the action happening in the BFA Premier League and beyond. Every last Monday of the month on CBC TV8. Kickoff time, 8:30 p.m. with analysis from our panel and highlights of the top performances. You can weigh in on the discussion via WhatsApp on 228-5562. It's Match Day Live from the 246. Don't you miss it.
My friend, you don't plan to get it. Oh, Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey, it's 7:09 on this beautiful Thursday in Barbados. A few showers here and there, but we don't mind. Make sure you walk with your umbrellas. All right, so something that is coming up every year, the Parish Independence Celebration Secretariats from across the islands get together. We have the Community Independence Celebrations leading up to the Spirit of the Nation show that's been going on for quite some time. So today we're telling you about the Parish Talent, which will be happening soon leading up to those major celebrations. Alicia Ford is Public Relations Officer with the St. Michael Parish Independence Committee. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having us. Thank you.
All right. Good to have you with us. So talk to me about the promotion of the upcoming parish talent shows in 3 zones.
Okay, so this weekend, which is going to be on Saturday, we have the Southern Zone, which includes obviously our parish, St. Michael, and it includes St. Philip and Christchurch. And there we're going to have a myriad of talent. We know that around Barbados, and we know Barbadians in themselves are very, very talented. And it's going to be at Daphne Joseph Hackett on Saturday. And I'm going to invite everyone just to come down. You know, we have a lot of persons who are coming forward to showcase their talent in dance and song, playing instruments. And it's going to be a really, really good event. And it's free, of course.
All right. Tell me how it pans out. What format does it take? Do you have to register in your own parish, or can you come down and register? And then who moves forward?
Okay, so you can register within your own parish. Each parish has their own Instagram page, of course, and we know we're moving forward with technology, and that's easy to communicate. So you can register within your own parish, or you can go to Celebrations Secretariat, which is right there in Warrens by Sky Mall. So it's not, in Sky Mall there. So it's not too far, and you are still able to register. We still have a couple of spaces left. But if that is the case and you are still desirous, I'm sure that we can still accommodate you. On top of that, it is important to know that after this particular segment, so Saturday, you're going to have the actual show. At the end of the night, you will know if you're going to go through to the finals. And then you will go then straight to the show where you will showcase your talent. So it's not going to be too much, in terms of back and forth. As soon as you perform on Saturday, the judges are going to deliberate Saturday night, and you will know from then if you're going to go forward into that final, which will be on the night of the show.
All right. Now I understand that you're going to be moving forward with 2 people from each parish. Explain a little further.
Yeah, so what happens is, like I said, at the end of the show, after points have been tabulated, it doesn't matter how many persons we have now going forward, but at the end, we're going to only have 2 persons moving forward. So after those 2 persons move forward, then, like I said, we're going to go now to the show where the night you showcase your talent, and then we have an overall winner. You also have prizes for best original. You also have prizes for most impactful. So persons who are coming forward, at the end of the day, based on what you're going to show us and what you're going to showcase, then those are all the prices that are up for grabs as well.
All right, so I think I have my information a little crossed. So let's clear that up. Because you said that they're going to be moving forward to perform at the Spirit of the Nation show, but there's also going to be a final show, Or is
Yeah, there's
this
going
the
to be a
final
final
show?
talent show. Yeah, there's going to be a final talent show
Okay,
as
so
well.
there will be
Yeah.
so 2 people go forward from each
Forward,
parish,
right, and then going forward, then you will
and
have
then
those
they're a part of the final,
of the final. Yes.
and then from the final you go into the Spirit of the Nation show.
The Spirit of the Nation show. Yes.
All right. So how many people move forward from the final show then?
Okay, so moving forward from the final show, you know that we only have, we don't have 15 parishes, just that it be clear. So moving forward from the final show, after that, the 2 persons, only 1 person will be selected going forward. Okay, so after we have our final show with the talent, then moving forward, we're only going to have 1 person representing each parish. 1 person representing each parish for that final show.
All right, excellent. I understand that you're also going to be working with the talent as well. Will this be from this stage or from the final stage where the finalists will be moving forward?
No, it's going to be a continuous work because we know that persons may need, pointers on what's going on. Everybody that is going to be in the talent is not somebody who obviously is aware of certain ins and outs that need to happen. So going forward, we're going to have persons continuously working with the talent in order for them to perfect whatever it is that they're going to show.
I want you to talk a little bit more about that because that's often very, very important with initiatives like this one where you're reaching into the community and giving them an opportunity to showcase their talent, but to add a mentorship type component to what you're doing, I think might be an added bonus for people who might be interested in entering, to let them know that they can get a little help with their talent as they move forward.
Well,
So what can
we
they
have
expect?
going forward? Well, thank you so much, Tisha. So because like you said, that is an important component. So each particular parish or each parish has their own parish talent committee or subcommittee. And those persons are really responsible for that mentorship going forward with the talent. On top of that, we also have our parish talent workshops that are put on by CICS, where persons are allowed to, meet persons who are within that particular area, and they are given directions on how to dress on stage, given directions on how to speak their diction, their stage presentation, stage left, stage right, how to cueing with the music. So these are things that are constantly ongoing. And again, these workshops are free workshops. Once you are part of that talent, these are things that are offered to you through Community Independent Secretariat.
All right, that's good stuff. You're a part of the St. Michael Parish Independence Committee specifically. What zone are you a part of? What are the other parishes that make up that zone? And let's hone in on kind of mobilizing people so they know specifically where to go. Are they signing up on the Instagram pages, or are there other ways for them to get on board?
Okay, so I am obviously a part of St. Michael, and we are from the southern zone. Within the southern zone is myself, St. Michael, we have St. Philip, and we have Christchurch as well. And in order to mobilize, we want to make sure that persons know that this is a free event. If you're looking for someplace to go on Saturday night, you can come out. If you want to get in contact with us, you can go straight to Community Independence 246 right there at the bottom on their Instagram page. You can go to their Facebook page, which is Barbados CICS. And you can also, of course, know that you can reach us by the telephone number, which is there, which is 535-3835. So you can speak to any person there, or you can contact the parishes individually. Each parish, like I said, has their own individual Facebook, their own individual Instagram. But of course, if you really want to get in contact with someone, I would say call that number at the bottom there, 535-3835, so that you can speak to somebody directly in Community Independence Celebration Secretariat.
All right, so 6 people will be moving forward on the big night on Saturday night to the final on Saturday, October 14th at the Frank Cullimore Hall to represent St. Michael, St. Philip, and Christchurch. We want to wish you all the best. I certainly hope that once you come off Morning Barbados, you are inundated with calls and messages.
Yes,
and there are so many people from St. Michael who want to sign up. So I most certainly look forward to that. I want to thank you so much for sharing with us this morning, and we look forward to hearing how everything turns out. Thank you so much, Ms. Ford.
Thank you so much, Tisha. Have a great day, you guys.
And you. All right, so Parish Talent is coming up. So if you think you have an awesome talent, a neighbor who sings all the time and you can hear them from next door. I hear people talking about that. I don't have a neighbor who sings, but you might have a neighbor who's always singing and you're thinking, oh, they're bothering me. Or you might be thinking, oh, this neighbor can sing really well. Maybe you should encourage them to enter the parish talent zonal show, the Southern Zone, at the Daphne Joseph Hackett Theatre, Saturday, August 19th at 6 o'clock in the evening. And of course, you should sign up beforehand. So make sure you look for your parish committee's individual Instagram page to go and do your signing up and call them up so that you can be on top of that. Hey, we're going to take a break and come back with more. We're going to talk to you about something amazing that's happening with the Barbados Museum. So stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
For the past 19 years, QFM has been sharing with you, learning from you, and together building a community for all mature audiences. That's why we say Q is good for you. To our Q family, we say thank you for staying connected to Q 100.7 FM. QFM is a station of the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. CBC, celebrating 60, connecting Barbadian communities.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, so usually they have me lonely here on the set, so I have somebody who's joined me. That's Kendia Brathwaite, who's program officer with the National Olympic Academy of the Barbados Olympic Association. So good morning and welcome.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
All right, so you're here to tell us all about something exciting that I don't think I knew. Maybe other people knew. I know that you are the umbrella body for a whole host of national sporting organizations. But I never knew that there was a museum at the top of the building. So upstairs there is a Barbados Olympic Association museum.
Yes, there
All right,
is.
talk to us more about that.
Yes, so as you said, a lot of people don't know, and this is one of our initiatives to let Barbados know. Usually when people come to our museum, they often say, you know, this is one of our best kept secrets, and we no longer want it to be a secret. And so we want to share it with Barbados, and we're having a museum tours evening. And so individuals can come to the museum between 3 and 7 p.m. after work, just before work finishes, and then afterward into the evening, so they can take in the Olympic history of Barbados. And on top of that, you know, you said we are responsible for 39 federations, sporting federations, but we're also the umbrella body responsible for the Commonwealth Games here in Barbados, the Pan American Games in Barbados, as well as all the youth versions of those games, the Caribbean Games, Caribbean Regional Olympic Committees as well, ANOC. So there's so much that our organization does outside of the Olympic movement, and we've tried to capture all of that in our museum.
All right, so you're speaking from the perspective of an insider.
Yes.
So tell us about that and give us a virtual tour, first of all, of what we can expect once we come to the museum.
Okay, so there's so much excitement in the museum. We, of course, would have been recognized in 1955 as an Olympic committee, but it wasn't until 1960 that, you know, you saw
you will notice
coming onto the stage after becoming the competing as the West Indies Federation. And so at 1968, we made our introduction to be Barbados Olympic Association, recognized on the world stage. And that's where, you know, you see the unfolding of Obadele Thompson. So we have a tribute in there for him. But before Obadele Thompson, the first Barbadian to receive a medal while we were the West Indies Federation is Mr. James Wedderburn. Everybody knows James Wedderburn from the NAPSAC era and the zone being named after him. And Barbadians will be lucky enough to see his medal because we have that medal from his Olympic Games in Rome. And so we also have the footage of that race. And if you would remember, Sade Williams, last year donated her medal as well from the Birmingham Commonwealth Games just last year when she medaled and she got a gold medal. And so she donated that to us, and we also have that on display. So there are time capsules within the museum that we would just love to share to the Barbados public.
All right, now I know that you had a few tours before. That, of course, was one of those well-kept secrets you were talking about. But now, you know, we're opening it up to everybody. So tell us what we need to do to be a part of these evening tours. And again, I'm happy they're in the evening because these days are pretty warm.
Yes.
Yes?
So you really just need to come down to the Barbados Olympic Center. It's in Wildy. Again, best kept secret. A lot of people don't realize our building is there. It's just behind the Sagicor building. And the event happens August 25th, so that's next Friday, between the hours of 3 to 7 p.m. And that's where you can come. Tours will happen on the hour, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. However, we also have the ability to let individuals roam because we have some tablets and we've employed technology that you can do a guided tour by yourself.
Yeah, I think this is a great way to kind of engage Barbadians in sport, to find out a little bit more about what you do and how much work you do over at the Barbados Olympic Association.
Yes.
I mean, even hearing you talk about all of the various games that you oversee or are a part of, is really enlightening to know that all of that is happening. You just confused a whole lot of people by saying behind Sagicor, though.
Yes, because
some people are in Belleville, all right? So just say across from the Aquatic Center in the same gymnasium complex.
Yes.
And I think
I
think people will understand. You know, on the left there with all the flags.
Yes.
That's the Barbados Olympic Association.
Yes. And as you said, we are responsible for athletes going to so many of those games. And this is me now wanting to plug the staff there at the Olympic Association. We are so tiny. And I think that sometimes they don't get enough praise. And I want to give them their flowers now because we are only a staff of 10.
Wow.
And I think they do a tremendous job. And I'm so proud of them and proud to be a part of that team. And this initiative is one of those initiatives that will allow us to tell Barbados what we do and what we represent, and we're hoping to share the Olympic movement and build that national pride. And this is just one of those aspects that we see working.
Absolutely. What was one of the most striking things, or one of the things that has really stayed with you from the entire presentation that's there in the museum? If you could name one, because I know sometimes it's so difficult to kind of pick one thing out.
There's so many things that you could go there and see. I think it would have to be the James Wedderburn medal, because a lot of people don't realize how far we've come, having competed as the West Indies Federation and now competing as the Barbados Olympic Association. So there are obviously forefathers that set the pace for the athletes that are there today. And I think Mr. Wedderburn is a perfect example, because he represented Barbados, yes, but under the West Indies Federation banner, and he still claimed a medal, right? And so I think that is like that in particular is what stands out for me.
All right, for me, I can't wait to go see the Obadele Thompson exhibit or part of the presentation, because he represents, for I suppose, my generation and others, because I mean he's the only person who has won an Olympic medal for competing for Barbados. And still to date, I know that we were thinking there probably would have been a few that would have followed. Unfortunately, not as yet. Fingers crossed, we're getting there. But to see that all this time, because I know he celebrated like 20 years of having the medal this year. That has gone by so quickly. I distinctly remembered when he came back, the entire we had an entire parade all through Bridgetown and the students, and
I was
we were
at school at that point, and I remember the song "Oba Dele Thompson." So I kind of aged myself. I mean, just a little bit, but I do remember that era as well. And yeah, it's a great moment in time in our sporting history that we can also celebrate. Yeah,
absolutely. I also know of a few other Olympians who I went to school with, or I'm very good friends with. One who also worked with you at the BOA, Nicholas Nichols. Yes. Still very, very close, a good friend of mine. So it's always great to see that we are truly saluting them for the work they do, because you don't wake up one day and go to the Olympics.
Yes, they definitely don't. It's a lot of hard work. And so we've actually, for the Olympians, because they say once you have gone to the Olympics and touched the field of play, you are Olympian, so you always remain an Olympian. And what we've done is to capture all of those names of the Olympians from Barbados over the many years, right up until the very last Olympic Games in Tokyo. So that's something. If you know somebody, you be sure to come and check through the list of names to see if you see their name inscribed on the wall.
That's so excellent. I was stalking Akila Jones' page up to yesterday on Instagram, because she has this business called Etched by Echelon, where she does these beautiful hats. And I was talking with a colleague here at CBC about how talented she is, and even watching her doing it is so interesting. So for people who truly love to find out more and stuff, is great. And it's good to bring the little ones along too, so that they learn.
Definitely, yeah. There's so much opportunity to learn, and we do school tours. So we do have schools come into the museum, and we do show them around. We do school visits as well. So we talk about our 3 core values of friendship, excellence, and respect. And I think there's no other greater time to talk about that, especially in the kind of generation and kind of era that we're in, because friendship, excellence, and respect, I think, could be a foundation for a lot of young children.
I think it will be overwhelming for people to see how many athletes we have who've been to the Olympics or who've competed at other prestigious games around the world, because even though I mentioned that we've not medaled at that level for 20 years since OBA, there's so many other athletes who have done exceptionally well across the world for Barbados.
Yes, and we've captured that. We have Leah Marhindale, who came 4th at Olympic Games.
I remember
She's
Leah
there as well. We have a CAC tribute, and it's literally a tower that lights up. And the names on there are endless. There's so many names on there, and that shows the dedication of Barbados athletes and Team Barbados. I mean, they don't get enough praise, and I think we've tried to make an effort to do better on that.
Absolutely.
From our end, I should say.
Yeah, and I'd just like to reinforce the level of work that has to go in for people to be able to really reach these heights in sport and compete for their country.
Yes.
And it's our turn to show our appreciation by going out and acknowledging them and finding out more, and of course carrying on the mantle. So we might encourage some other young people to step forward and compete as well.
Definitely. I think having an athlete or having a young person come into the museum and start to feel what it is to be on that level of competition in terms of reaching to the Olympic Games. I mean, the pinnacle of sport, no matter what sport you're in, that's the true pinnacle of sport. And to have young individuals come into a space that's captured that for Barbados, I think it helps with how they feel. It helps them to visualize and see themselves in the future. And to think that we are also a non-governmental agency, I think that we trying to push and to, you know, get that national pride there. I think this is perfect, and it will assist them.
All right, good stuff. I want to thank you so much for coming in and sharing with us, of course. Remind us when it is again. It's Friday, August 25th?
Yes, Friday,
so August. So that's next Friday.
Yeah, next Friday from 3 to 7 p.m. Again, after hours, and you can come on down, and we will be great to have you and, you know, appreciate you being there and come and take in the atmosphere of the Barbados Olympic Association's museum.
So guided tours on the hour, or you can just roam and enjoy the space.
Yes.
I can't wait till next Friday. Why did you tell me with 2 Fridays to go? I'm kidding. Yeah, I definitely will come by. A special good morning to Marsha.
Yes,
left us.
Yes, Marcia is upstairs now. She is there with us. We also host the Caribbean Regional Anti-Doping Agency as well. Yes. So.
Oh, that's excellent. And good morning, Mr. Clark. I used to see Mr. Clark more often when the children went to school together, but now, oh wait, they still go to school together. Wait, hang on. Okay. All right, so thank you, Kendia, for sharing with us. Of course, Kendia Brathwaite is Program Officer with the National Olympic Academy, the Barbados Olympic Association. And this is something I did not know. I am so surprised I didn't know there's a museum upstairs.
No, you know, and hopefully thousands of Barbadians know now, and so yes, thank you for having me.
For sure, it's good to have you, and make sure you come out next Friday and be a part of it, okay? Guided tours, like we told you, from 3 o'clock up to 7, or you can roam the place. I'm a roam the place kind of girl, so I'll probably see you there. We're going to take another break and come back. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are
morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
26 minutes now to go before 8 o'clock here on Morning Barbados. And one of my favorite things to do is to reach out into communities across Barbados and find out what's happening. So this morning we are pleased to head to St. James South, that neighborhood watch group. They have a network very active going on. Christopher Lee, administrator, the St. James South Neighborhood Watch Network group, is with us, as well as Crystal Hippolyte, who is the assistant of that group. So good morning and welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
All right, so talk to me. I'm going to start with you, Christopher. Tell me all about your neighborhood watch. There are not a lot of people who might know about it. I know that you've been on with us before, but it certainly is great to see when neighborhoods get together to take a proactive role in keeping their community safe.
That's exactly right, Tisha, and we're so happy that we can bring this event around a second time. We found a lot of great success and interest, and so the more that we get that exposure, the more that people, not just within the community, but outside of the community, can see the type of work that we do, as well as how important it is for members within the community to come together, get to know each other, and also to build relationships.
Absolutely. And your community is such an expansive community. I mean, St. James South is so big. So let's kind of see if we can map out the area so people know exactly what we're talking about.
So it goes, so how it really started is because there are many different neighborhood watches, the smaller ones. So I particularly live in Prior Park Heights, but it goes all the way from there down to how you have Oxnards, and then goes down to like West Terrace and the way back up. So it is quite expansive, and probably Crystal can give more specific details to that. But I think the best part about it is that when I found out about, for example, the one in just next to Queen's College, one of the other neighborhood watches, and what they did with their community gardens and so forth, we were able to bond over how the challenges we had and the different tips and tools that we put together. So it also exposes you to areas of the neighborhood that I've never even been to as well, which is probably why I'm still learning all the different areas within the St. James South community.
All right, that's good stuff. Crystal, tell me about the various areas and how you guys are working together.
Yes, so we have a connection of areas going from Wanted Gardens right down to Crystal Heights, Wooders Hill, Haynesville, all over. So what we're doing is just trying to build a more safe network where people feel comfortable talking about what's going on in the community, telling us queries, questions, any issues with lighting, anything at all that you have a query about, you can reach out to the office. This is Sandra Husband's office at 548-4189, and we would try our best to assist and get whatever needs to be done fixed expeditiously.
I know that what we don't like to hear in Barbados is that there's an increased amount of crime, or there's more crime happening in certain communities. And I know that you've been, hearing and seeing a lot more happening in your community. And events like these really help to kind of bring the communities together and get people talking, like you said. So when people get together, you hear about what's happening, because people might not always report what they see. So let's talk a little bit now about the event that is coming up. I know you have a flea market and pop-up. So let's talk a bit about that.
Yeah. Okay, so for the flea market, really is initiated by the Neighborhood Watch to build community. We are helping the community and being mindful of the environment. So it was initiated to initially raise funds for back to school items and food hampers for the vulnerable. It's also to encourage entrepreneurship, whether you have a store or a small business, or you just have like a plethora of items that you need to get rid of in good condition. You can come on down and get signed up at the office so you can get a stall down there. So we basically are going to be showcasing various items from clothing, used and old, plants, furniture. There's going to be food on sale. There's also a kids zone. So the kids will be entertained. It's going to have a jumping tent, face painting, and a bunch of other fun things for the kids to do. So we just basically want to get everyone to come down to the office to sign up, because it's for a good cause, it's for charity. And we just want to encourage everyone to come on and help. Build community, do something for people that are less fortunate, for the elderly.
Just to clarify, Crystal, when you say come sign up, are you talking about people who will be participating with stall spaces and so on?
Yes, please.
Okay, so delve into that a little more.
Yes, so we have 100 spaces available. So you can come on down to the office at St. James South. This is Minister Sandra Husband's office, and you can sign up for a slot. It's $50 Barbados for slot, selling any clothing or any items like that. The full stalls are going to be $150. And so you can come and sign up the form. Just give us your name, address, and you can pay, and then we will give you a receipt. So we just want to get everyone to come on down to sign up so they can, so we can get some back to school stuff for the kids and elderly, the food hamper, for the elderly and stuff like that.
And the most vulnerable. Yeah. That's very commendable. Now, Christopher, I know that you guys have a very good relationship with the Barbados Police Service as well. So this event really serves many, many purposes. It's an opportunity for your people to come out and engage and interact and register as well. So talk to us about how important it is for that to happen.
So one of the things that really came out of us coming together within the St. James South Community Neighborhood Watch is identifying not only some of the needs that were related to like food hampers and also things during COVID times like vulnerable families, but also, as you've highlighted, security. And so things like lighting in specific areas where there may not be, it's a little too dimly lit, especially for those taking public transportation or walking, just doing their nightly walks. That's some of the areas that we have really realized is in need. And then just in my own community, the other aspect that the police force has really helped with is educating individuals on how best to protect their home, how best to to strengthen communication within the neighborhood, so that way, if, for example, I hear something 2 doors down, that I know who that neighbor is and I can call them, or something as simple as flicking on your lights when you hear a disturbance, so that you're not necessarily trying to engage with the possible perpetrator. So this particular year, we've really gotten a lot of information from the police force, and also by extension from the constituency office, to learn how to be and build a stronger community. The other part I just wanted to add to what Crystal was saying is that, as you know, we have the health, we have the fun zones and so forth, but we also have health checks, because within our community, we really believe it's important to have self-care and care within the community. And then additionally, because we call it a declutter this time, so yes, it's a flea market, but it's a declutter because we're not only are we trying to promote entrepreneurship, but we're also trying to think about being more environmentally conscious of reusing items, passing it on. So instead of just trying to buy something new all the time, it's saying, hey, there might be other items that somebody else may have that you can reuse, as opposed to, so it's not wasted. So these are a lot of the things: entrepreneurship, being environmentally conscious, security, and then again, just tying that all back into the different facets of community relationships that we are looking to focus on with the event.
I was also happy to see on your list that you want to make sure that your community is safe, not only from the criminal element, but also, safe generally with lighting. I believe it was in your community recently where we had a tragic incident where a gentleman, lost his life falling into a well. And coming out of that, there's been so much talk about hiking and walking, because there's so many people out around the neighborhood early in the morning, late in the evening, exercising and so on. So it really is important to engage with your neighborhood, your neighbors, so that you know what is happening throughout the neighborhood. Even for things like this, I believe it can make all the difference.
And you don't even know it sometimes until you have the discussion going, because everybody takes a different vantage point. Again, just referring back to how this neighborhood watch formed, when you start to talk to other neighborhood groups, even within your own neighborhood, because your own neighborhood be quite expansive, and so you're like, wow, but I didn't even realize there was a bat there. And so then you're like, but that, like you said, there's a ditch there, so you gotta be careful. Or when it ties back into with the constituency office, they have been so responsive when it comes to even things like drains blocked and other roadworks needing to be maintained, which also could pose as a potential hazard for the same said persons walking, or just anyone that comes within to the area.
All right, that's excellent. So we just want to reinforce, Crystal, everything that we can expect. Can only people from the area participate and set up their stalls and so on? Because I heard Christopher talking about decluttering, and all of a sudden I'm thinking maybe I should come by, but I'm not from St. James South. So can anybody participate, or must you be from the area to come and sign up? I believe your mic is off. Okay, there you go.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
yes.
I would encourage everyone to come out and participate, because the more the merrier. We have a lot of space available, so there really can get anyone from any area can come. It's fine. And it's going to be on August the 26th, which is next week, Saturday. So if you can try to get there this week or maybe early next week. We also have an online payment system that if you can't make it there, you can actually pay online through First Pay. You can call the office for the First Pay account number, again, at 548-4189. And you can expect everything from the pop-ups, the health checks. Going to be some businesses showcasing their items as well. You're going to have new and used clothes. There's going to be furniture, plants, natural soaps, natural juices, food. Then the kids zone again, where the kids can come out and be entertained. And so there's going to be a variety of things there. So you guys can come on out, both to shop and to sell.
And not least of which, I see there's going to be some DJ music too, so you might get some memories of Crop Over just passed. I know you have some good activities. in your area for
Yes.
that as well. So final words, Christopher, your last appeal to your neighbors and other people in the community about why they should come out, get to know other people from the St. James South area, participate in all that you're doing.
So again, as you said, Tisha, the appeal is to everybody in Barbados, because this is also a wider community effort, the community within Barbados, that even if you can only spare a little bit of time, it really is worth just coming to check out to see not only what we're doing, but what the kind of the benefits that have been reaped from a group of people just deciding to come together and realize how important it is to get to know your neighbors and the people around you. So we really want to encourage you again to come down on August 26th. It's just next week from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Just even if you're just passing by, you want to give a little walk up, you want to have a little bit of refreshment, you want to see maybe something something to just pick up along the way for back to school. But there's so many different aspects to this, and I really am looking forward to seeing you guys there.
I really love that there's a philanthropic component to it as well. So for you, Crystal, final word.
Yes, my final word would be everyone come on out and support the charity. This is for a good cause, back to school, and it's also for the elderly and most vulnerable in the neighborhood. And thank you.
All right. I'm glad to see that you guys are literally helping yourselves. You're doing something, you're reaching out, you're trying to help other people in your communities and get together and fellowship. That's what Barbados is all about. That's what Barbadian communities used to be all about, and it's great to see that you're trying to maintain that or rebuild it. So, all kudos to St. James South. I'm going to have to work hard now to catch up with you, and then there's going to be a community competition across the island and all that, coming out of this.
That's the vision. That's the vision. One step at a time, but we can do it if we think about doing it together.
All right, good stuff. So this is next Saturday, so make sure you come on out and be a part of the flea market and pop-up, as well as the community initiative against fighting crime, getting some funds so that they can support some of the most vulnerable on the fringes and across the community as well. That was Crystal Hippolyte, assistant of the St. James South Neighborhood Watch Network Group. And we had Administrator Christopher Lee, who's also with that group. Again, thanks to them for the time. Hey, we're going to take a break and come on back as we get ready to wrap Morning Barbados. We have some feel-good stories to share with you. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages to
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Also, of course, today we're celebrating Marcus Mosiah Garvey, a Jamaican-born black political activist, publisher, journalist, just to name a few. And he was probably the most charismatic Afro-American leader until Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So it's wonderful to celebrate him today and all the work that he has done through the years. A special good morning to all of the Jamaican family who are tuned in and locked on. I know you have your various celebrations. Some of you do here in Barbados as well, but if you can, we talked a little bit earlier about how we here in Barbados are celebrating, at Queen's Park House. So from 5 o'clock this evening, check it out. Now, we wanted to share this story with you as we look forward to students transitioning from primary to secondary schools, going to the schools that they probably wanted to go to for their entire lives because their parents went there, or just because that's, that's enough of a reason as well. But it's also about students who are transitioning into college as well, and people transitioning out of school and into their dream jobs. Now, this story is about a young man who wanted to make a life for himself through going to Harvard School, and to get there, he did a lot of work in areas like sanitation, and he was able to realize his dream. Here's his story.
Rahan Staten from Bowie, Maryland, never give up. Growing up, his single father cared for him, and Rahan vowed to pay it forward no matter what.
Hey, David.
Tonight, Rahan, right here.
Time got really tough. I mean, food insecurities, housing insecurities. We didn't even have heat in the winter.
He said after his mother left the family and his father lost his job, he struggled. His grades suffered.
My GPA was like a low 2.0, and I got denied by every single college I applied to. So I just opted to go work for the local trash company.
But that job as a garbage man, 4 a.m. every morning, changed Rahan's life.
That's where my life changed forever. It's like the first time in my life where everyone around me just really picked me up and embraced me.
His coworkers encouraged him to fight for his dreams.
They saw something in me. They uplifted me.
Rahan went back to school, got his grades up, a 4.0. He was accepted at the University of Maryland, working 2 shifts as a garbage man to pay for it.
I'd wake up at 4 o'clock, go to work, clean my dumpsters, get off, go to school. Then after school, I'd go back to finish the shift, and that was pretty much my day.
He then reached for his next dream, Harvard Law School.
All right, let's go. All ready?
And this was the moment Rahan would find out if he got in.
All right, I'm clicking it.
Congratulations! Oh. Let's go!
He is now headed to Harvard Law this fall.
I got into Harvard, and really it was probably just the greatest moment of my life, specifically because I finally felt that I could pay back my dad and my brother for all their sacrifices.
Tonight, Rahan's message on pushing forward, pushing through, no matter what.
Just love yourself enough to always give yourself what you want. Life's not always going to be fair, but it's not going to be fair. I can promise you it won't be fair, but if you put in the work, you stay disciplined, you stay hungry, everything will fall into place.
All right, definitely a great story. He stuck in there. He had bad grades, but he got the grades up, he worked hard, and he is headed toward his life's goal and his dream. So a little bit of motivation and inspiration for us on this Thursday. We're going to take a break and come on back as we wrap today's presentation of Morning Barbados. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
For the past 19 years, QFM has been sharing with you, learning from you, and together building a community for all mature audiences. That's why we say Q is good for you. To our Q family, we say thank you for staying connected to Q 100.7 FM. QFM is a station of the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. CBC, celebrating 60, connecting Barbadian communities.
Want to catch up on the sports headlines and newsmakers of the week? Then catch Final Score on CBC TV8, Fridays at 8:30 p.m. and repeat it Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Get in on the conversation on 228-5562 as we talk to the analysts and professionals in sports across Barbados. Fridays at 8:30 p.m. and repeat it Tuesdays at 2 p.m. right here on CBC TV8.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Well, today is Thursday, but you know it's also known as Q Day. Of course, you're heading out to Q in the community today. Make sure you get out early. We are heading to Bonnie's Bar. So make sure you head on to Bonnie's Bar, Hoyts Village Playing Field. That's where we will be, Hoyts Village, St. James. It's a wonderful space, a very big space where you can come and have a great day with the Q family. I know that Jaquila and Kimberly will be out and sharing. So we're going to be live on 100.7 FM from 11 o'clock this morning. But it really carries on, you know, big time before that. I remember my first Q in the community. I think the first one I went to was over at Buddy's Soca. And the most surprising thing for me was at 11 o'clock in the morning, there were people with big pork chops and rice and stew. Yeah, but I mean, that's what Q is about. It's about dancing, line dancing, karaoke, just enjoying each other's company and sharing why we are who we are. You know, we are one big family, and Q is all about community engagement and fun. So here's a look at it. Again, this is where we will be today for Q in the community. We are going to be over in Hoyts Village today for Q Thursday at Bonnie's Bar. They're hosting, and we're going to make sure that we come on out and share it with you on radio as well. So the Kiwanis Club of Barbados Benevolence presents a fundraising concert in aid of community projects featuring the Barbados Police Service Band. It's coming up on Saturday, August 19th at Prince Cave Hall. So make sure you come on out and support that as well. The police station on Station Hill, and it's at 7 o'clock in the evening. Guest performances by Anderson Blood Armstrong and Jamal Slocum. Tickets are just $40 and they're available from all club members. So again, the Kiwanis Club of Barbados presenting that fundraising concert in aid of community projects that we're encouraging you to come on out and celebrate as well. So that's it from us for today. We're almost at the end of another week. Can you believe it? It's Thursday already, and we're already looking down the barrel of September. So make sure you prepare for school. We shared lots of things with you today. If you can, pass through Queen's Park House as we celebrate Marcus Garvey Day today. And remember to wear your smiles as you go through the day. You don't know whose heart you might be warming. On behalf of the entire crew, have a great day today, and we'll see you, God willing, in the morning. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.